Good morning. I've just been to the osteopath and I wanted to jump on real quick. My boyfriend's just gone for a run, so I probably don't have a lot of time before he gets back, and then the dog immediately starts shouting his little face off. So I'll do my best with my defined throat to be succinct. Okay. Another amazing human signed up for the content incubator this morning. I'm keeping the doors open till midday today, so that means you have just over 2 hours to jump in. Then the doors are closed. That is it. It's going to be a closed container, and then if you want to come and work with me on anything around content and expression, it would need to be in a one-to-one capacity for now, because that's what I'm rolling out right now. Content incubator. It's a vibe. It's going to be super high touch, very intimate container. I would say probably 2 spots left would be my ideal. So we've just got a real small intimate group where we can dig in and really feel held in the space. I'm very excited about that. What's also great about having a smaller group is that I can now find times where everyone is available. It's easier for me to do that, to actually be able to tap in and find out when people can all be on the live, and we can all come together and combine all of our energies so that we can have real conversations about things. And then having the Telegram support in between just means that we get to evolve and grow. Battery, you get to have me in your pocket for an entire fucking month, which is just like epic in and of itself. So this morning I went to the osteopath and something really interesting happened. When I woke up this morning, I had started to feel this energy. I've been doing a lot of like somatic release work recently, just privately in my own self-practice, allowing energy and emotion to really move through the body, no longer holding things in, no longer moderating my emotional release for myself, you know, like not making myself crazy if I need to have a bubbly snot rage cry or whatever. And as a result of that, my energetic field just feels so much cleaner, it feels clearer, it feels more activated, more alive. I just generally feel a bit more juiced up about life, and this is such just a delicious and yummy, cracked open feeling. I am fully here for it. And as I started to notice, this energy was just like gently kind of thrumming away in the background of my body. And I had this osteopath appointment booked, and I was like, this is exactly the right time. There was something about the crispness of the autumn. I'm getting goosebumps even thinking about it. As I stepped outside and to get into my car, I felt the crisp autumnal air just like kiss my skin. The sun was out, gentle breeze, and I was like, wow, this time of year feels so magical. There's like alchemy in the air at this time of year. You know, the things are dying off, and then the ground is being fertilized with what's died, what's fallen from the trees is now turning to, you know, into smush to fertilize the tree so that in spring it can all come back to life. And I was just feeling like this year has been such an incubation period for me. It's been such a cocoon for me, and really being able to journey, allowing myself to plumb my depths and find and meet myself in new ways that I didn't even realize I hadn't accessed yet. And to me, that is one of the gifts of doing this work consistently and always showing up for the work and showing up for myself, is just, it is such a gift to reveal new layers of ourselves to ourselves for ourselves. And this is where the piece around validation came in. I went to my osteopath and I explained to him, yes, there'd been financial stress this year, there'd been stress in my business, been stress just physically, I'd had like some niggles and things, and I could feel how a sensation of feeling like a trapped animal had like almost locked itself into my nervous system, and that translated into my physical, like into literally the way I was holding myself. He straightened my head out, and my head had been on so wonky that when he put my head straight, I was like, everything looked like it was on a tilt. I was like, I feel like I'm looking at the world like this now. And he said, well, you were looking at the world like that, but now your head is on straight. I was like, wow, like what a fucking analogy, right? When you are looking at things from a skewed perspective rather, and you've just got used to seeing the world from this angle, when your head goes on straight, everything still feels, when you're in alignment, it feels wonky. And I was like, mind fucking blown. That is such an analogy for how things work in life. When you have been used to looking at things from a wonky perspective, like I had, because my I'd basically been holding myself in a way that was like I had whiplash. I was like this. So when he like adjusted me, manually adjusted my physical being, I then was able to see things straight, but seeing things straight and seeing things clearly felt like it was wonky to me. And I said to him, I was like, whoa, I feel like the bubble in my internal spirit level needs to like recalibrate to seeing things as they actually are. Like, and all of this awakening happened in my body. And then when I got back, one of my most favorite humans in the world had messaged me and said, I want to sign up for your content incubator. Is it still open? And I was like, of course, perfect timing. Of course you drop into the field now, because my head's on straight. Literally, get your head on straight. Do you know what I mean? So when I then got to my car and I could feel a little emotional bubble, so I let it release. Just like, there wasn't any like emotion per se, it was just like emotional energy. A little bit of crying came out and I was like, and as I've been walking to my car from the osteopaths, I thought, wow, that's really helping me align my physical self, which I sometimes forget about, because I'm so in the energetic, emotional, spiritual realm a lot, that my body tends to be my vessel for exercise and fitness. And I forget sometimes to, you know, have it adjusted by an osteo or a chiropractor or a massage therapist or whatever. Sometimes I just forget how valuable that is. And I invest in other areas and I forget sometimes to prioritize that. So I was like, great, I'm going back to him next week for like the final adjustment and all of this. As I got to my car, I was just visualizing myself like walking to my car, like reaching for the handle and being like, I think I might actually reach out to one of the ladies when I was becoming a counsellor. Like when I was doing my counselling training years and years ago, way back at the beginning of my journey. One of the tutors was just so lovely, and I had been to her for talk therapy after the training just because I needed to kind of get my head on straight. Hello analogy, it's going to keep coming back, isn't it? And I was thinking about her and I was like, do you know what, maybe rather than like business coaching or more mentoring, stuff like that, maybe what would actually really be of benefit to me and my needs and desires right now would be to just go and like talk out the events of this year with someone who literally just, I pay to just kind of listen and ask good questions. And it's not about coaching or mentoring, it's just about someone holding that space. And I thought, wow, maybe I'll reach out to Marilyn. I get in my car, have the emotional release, look up, and I see her walking across the car park. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? And I was just like, and I just let the energy guide me. I opened my door and I was like, oh my God, Marilyn, let me help you with your shopping. I need to come and talk to you. I've been thinking about you and here you are, perfect timing, right? And I was also then, as I got in my car, I was listening to a podcast, and this podcast just completely switched what it was talking about into something completely different as I started listening to it on the way home. And it started talking about how, you know, are you somebody who continues to take care of yourself even when things are going well, or do you need things to be like in crisis or broken or fucked before you take action? Do you need to be in physical pain before you go and seek assistance, or do you like maintain your physical body? Do you let your money get into a fucking shit show before you go, fuck, I better show up and start making some money in my life, right? Do you allow your relationship to hit crisis before you have the important conversations, or are you someone who nurtures that conversation and that level of expression throughout your relationships all the time? Or are you waiting for something to go wrong before you take action? And I was like, well, actually, I used to be that person, and now I'm a lot better at tapping into the energy of my desires and my wants all of the time without needing shit to break. Shit can still break, shit did go wrong this year, you know, go wrong, whatever that means. And I still was resilient and resourceful enough and tapped in enough to my own desire that I could feel my way back to, okay, maybe I just need to rest. And I've let myself rest more this year than I have since I started my business. So I could see all of these areas of growth, and I could see how in the past I had allowed external things to validate my desire for growth, to validate and this can be positives or it can be negatives. You know, if you want to play that game of positive, negative game, if things can be positive or negative. And do I allow myself to make decisions and choices based on what I'm receiving as external feedback? Or do I notice how I feel internally about the external feedback first? As a generator type in human design, I am actually designed to respond to life. Pardon me, energy moving. However, what happens is when you are kind of programmed or designed to respond, we can either get so used to initiating our life to just like make things happen that we burn ourselves out, and that feels normal to us. Or we can start to feel like we have to just wait for life to happen to us. Or when something external happens, it's like, oh, that's proof. That's evidence that I'm on the right path. That's evidence that everything is going to be okay. Or that's evidence that I'm doing the wrong thing. I should wait for evidence that I'm doing the right thing. And we kind of use it as proof or evidence rather than using it as something to respond to. So if you're looking at an area of your life right now and you're thinking, well, that doesn't really feel how I want it to feel, it doesn't look how I want it to look, I must be doing something wrong, I should probably go and ask somebody else for their help, I should ask someone else for advice, I should look externally for what the world is showing me, that's fine. And check in with yourself first. Is this actually a problem that I need to solve right now? Or is this just feedback? You know? Am I just being shown by the universe what I've already created, but I can trust that my decisions from this point forward, and maybe even my decisions from yesterday or the day before, have already started aligning me with a new path? Or am I still looking at everything I've manifested from the past, however many months, years, decades of my life, thinking about something in a certain way, having my head on wonky? Or am I going to trust that now that my head is on straight, sometimes things are still going to look a little bit wonky because I'm not used to seeing them clearly or fully, or, you know, like having the veil lifted in this way. And when I see things in a new way, can I trust that just because they don't look the way they did before, they don't look familiar, or they're slightly different angle, can I trust my body to give me the feedback about whether this is actually the right path for me, whether this is the right decision for me, or whether I could be taking better care of myself in this area? Is this landing with you? I feel like it's like a lot of energy that I'm just kind of drawing down through me and delivering to you through my face. So when I saw Marilyn and I reached out, she gave me her card, and then I got home and I just felt like, you know, this divine timing, someone else dropping into the content incubator, and me feeling like, you know what? You get the results that you truly do get the results that you want by following what your body is guiding you to do. And I knew I had to go to the osteopath. I knew I could feel it with all of my being that it was important for me to go and have my physical body adjusted. And it's almost less about the adjustment itself and more about that moment of when he put my head on straight and I felt like everything was wonky. And just before, I feel this bit's important to share with you, just as he was doing the adjustment on my neck, like he had me like lean against, he was like kneeling behind me on the massage bed thing, and he was like adjusting my neck, and he said, right, just lean against me. So I like leant against him, and as I leant against him, I felt this just the feeling of like absolute trust in this human and in this moment to provide me with what I needed. So not needing external validation, not needing someone to fix something for me, but following my intuition to guide me to that session, and being in that session of fully surrendering to the process, rather than fighting the process or being like, oh, okay, right, I better just like stay in my head and like, you're leaning against somebody, I should probably make sure that they don't, what if he moves? None of that was in my body. It was literally just pure surrender to like, and part of that is because he's so energetically grounded in what he does and as a human. And that's why I actually go to this particular osteopath, is because I feel like he's very intuitive and he's very grounded and very solid in who he is. I feel very safe in his presence, but not safe in like a, I'm a little girl, protect me. More safe in just this human is just a solid fucking human. The same way that I feel about my Muay Thai instructor. Like, you're just a solid human who I just trust. There's no forcing that trust. There's no questioning. It's purely just, there is such a high vibrational resonance with this human that I know I can lay myself bare, receive what I need from whatever session I'm in with these people. I can fully receive the wisdom, the gifts, the nourishment that I need, that I desire, is so yummy to me. And I can grow as a result of being in these people's presence. And there have been times where I haven't trusted that energy. And I felt like I should be able to trust this person. So maybe it's me. Maybe it's me that's like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this person who's saying, look, just trust me. Like, why don't you trust me? You know, I've had interactions like that over the past year, and I've been like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's me then. Maybe I should trust you. Maybe I have trust issues. And it's like, yeah, bitch, you have issues of trusting fucking intuition right now. Like, trust yourself. If you have a gut instinct about something or you feel something is off in your body, it probably fucking is. And learning the difference between overriding your fear because it's fear that is stopping you from moving forward and like genuinely growing, and you've just got some resistance around that next level because you're like, fuck. It's almost like when you find the right mentor, the right fucking osteopath, the right PT, the right energy worker, whatever, the right fucking romantic partner, whatever it is, when you are around that person, you just kind of know. You just feel safe. You just trust. You don't trust or feel safe because of them being around. That's codependency. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying I only feel safe when this person's around. I feel safe. I feel so safe with myself, with my decisions. I feel safe in my body. And to get to this point, for me, my personal journey was a lot of questioning my intuition, a lot of questioning whether I could trust myself, taking on external input and feedback about whether I trusted, whether someone else perceived me to trust them enough, taking that on as information like, oh, there must be something to fix here because surely I should just be able to trust people, trust issues. No, I can see now that anchoring myself in solid safety and feeling grounded in my own body and my own full expression of self is exactly what allows me to trust myself. If you can feel safe with yourself in your own body, you can trust yourself to make the right decision. You can trust yourself to say yes, to say no. You can trust yourself to create, to put things out in the world. You can trust the way that you express yourself. You can trust that if people don't like you or the way that you show up or the way that you said something or the way that you fucking look or the way that you behave, if you can trust that you are coming from a grounded place of your own sovereignty and what feels good for you, you can trust yourself and feel safe with every single fucking part of yourself. You can hold yourself in the depths of the darkness of your despair, rocking, bubbly snot crying, rage, screaming, pounding the pillow, screaming to the heavens, feeling dark, heavy, ragey, whatever it is, sad, depressed, grief. If you can hold yourself through those emotions, those heavy, dark, crunchy parts of yourself, and still feel safe whilst you're in that process. Safe that you won't lose yourself in the emotion or to the emotion. Safe that you won't make it all mean something about you that it doesn't fucking mean. You are fucking unshakable. And you can trust yourself. And if I can gift you something, if I can gift you a container where you come to feel into the safety of being truly embodied in this physical being, in your physical being, this is something that people tend to feel in my containers because it's something that I've journeyed so deeply with myself. There is no part of you that you will bring into a container with me, whether it's the content incubator, whether it's redemption, whether it's my one-to-one work, whether it's my membership, the portal. There is no part of yourself that you bring to any session that will make me go, oh God, no. Because trust me, I've met those parts, the equivalent within myself, and I've looked them in the eye and I've gone, fuck. I was so scared of you, but now you are part of my power. And I've learnt to integrate those shadowy, darker parts of myself so that no one can take my power away from me. I will not give my power away to anyone. I may gift them my trust, and it's a gift that I can take back if I want to when something doesn't feel good. And I feel safe enough and I trust my expression and myself enough to have those difficult conversations when they need to be had. So that is what I have to say for you today. I'd love to know what you've received from this live stream, what it has brought up for you, what you might be journaling on now, what you might be like, oh my God, I've had an aha moment. Share them in the comments. The content incubator closes in 2 hours, so if you are feeling to join us, please do so. As I say, there's 2 spots left on that, so if you do want to, it is going to be such an intimate and high touch experience. I am so excited to help you guys crack your shit wide open and get so comfortable with showing all of the parts of yourself to the world, and also like feeling that you don't need to, because when you feel at peace with all of yourself, you actually don't even feel like you need to prove yourself. You don't go like hunting and looking for things to share. You just trust the innate rhythm of your own expression. There is no pushing or forcing anymore. It just is. So if you desire that level of expression, freedom, deliciousness in your fucking business, then join us in the content incubator. Link is above in the title of this live stream. If you're feeling like, oh, what was that redemption thing about all the shadow work and integrating the darker parts of yourself? That is redemption, and it starts on Saturday. If you cannot find the link, it's scattered around the place. Please just drop me a DM or tag me in the comments. You have to tag me or I won't see it. But please do reach out about that if you want to come and join us. We start on Saturday. It's going to be fucking incredible. We are going to journey into the deepest, darkest parts of ourselves, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it because, let's face it, the villains are fucking cool. Like, you know, when we grow up, maybe we're kind of conditioned to think we want to be the princess or whatever, but I was like, what about Maleficent? She's a fucking badass. In fact, so much that I got her inked onto my skin for eternity. So if either of these offerings are resonating with you, or maybe you just think, fuck that shit, I want all in, I want to be in this bitch's energy, like all of the vibes, feel free to message me about working with me one-to-one, or if you want to jump into my portal membership, that's also available till the end of this month. Loads of ways to work with me currently. And if you're not sure which one is for you and you're like, I want something but I don't know what, you know what? Ping me a little message. I'm more than happy to answer your questions and help guide you into what's right for you. It doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve me, it doesn't serve anyone else in those containers if you are, you know, in a space that doesn't actually serve your desires, your needs, your goals, what you want from your life. So I'm not going to put anyone or like guide anyone into a container just for the sake of it. If I'm not the right practitioner for you, I will also refer you on to somebody else, right? So you can trust me, you can trust that I will guide you to what I intuitively feel is going to be for your highest and best interest. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. Bye.